What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about making a budget gun just as good as a more expensive 2011. So this is for my budget example, I'm going to use the Girsan Match S, which has a few upgrades on it. It's got a trigger in it. I changed the grip. It's got the trigger itself is different. It's a red dirt trigger, but then it also has the Nighthawk drop-in trigger that I've used in a couple other guns. This is a Limcat magwell. It's an aluminum bodied magwell with a steel insert, so you can beat the crap out of it. You can tell I've used this on a couple guns. I've beat it up pretty good. The grip is an MJD grip. I really like these grips. We'll do a video just on those at some point. But this is going to be our example of, is it just as good as, and what is it just as good as? The question would be this MPA. This is an MPA DS9. You're looking at, this is probably like a $3,500 gun stock, and it also has some upgrades. And when it came to me, I bought it slightly used. It was having a couple of problems, which I had to fix. I imagine I could have sent it to MPA. They would have fixed it. But me liking to tinker, I went ahead and took care of it myself. So that will be our example for the gun to compare to. And this video will pretty much be on the bench looking at the guns and taking them apart. I'll put a little bit of video at the end where I took them to the range. So if you want to skip to some range stuff, it's later in the video. But I intend to do a part 2 to this video, which will just be on the range and shooting the two guns and seeing if we can tell a difference, because I didn't have enough time to really do a lot of testing the other day at the range. I think before we move to the bench, one thing to note is the grip. A big part of your expense, I'd say a big part of your expense to a fancy gun like this MPA is the grip, because it comes with an aluminum grip, which I've put on this gun. That's why it's here. Whereas most of your budget guns are going to come with a polymer grip. These polymer grips are a little boxy. The ergonomics for me, like, they fit my hands pretty good, but it's going to depend on your hand shape. It could be better, and these aluminum MPA grips are definitely better. But this is much less expensive, and they can probably produce these much faster for a higher turnover. Your $3,000 staccato or $2,800 staccato comes with something similar to this. So going to an MPA with an aluminum grip versus a staccato seems almost like a no-brainer, right? At the price point. Because this aluminum grip, obviously being machined out of aluminum, is going to cost more. It's going to be more time-consuming to make, which probably limits their production, and part of why there's a bit of a lead time to get an MPA. Their ergonomics are better because they have more flexibility with that. They can make the grips more aggressive than this one is. But if you want to upgrade your gun with an aluminum grip, you can't buy an MPA grip. I'd probably point you towards like a Chile grip. That seems to be the standard that people hold grips to. And a Chile grip's going to be like $650, anodized black. You're still going to need to fit it to your gun. If you can't do that, you're going to pay a gunsmith to do it. And then you're going to need a proprietary magwell for their grip, so you're going to have another 80 or 90 bucks into it. So you're looking at, call it $750, maybe $850 by the time you pay someone to put it on. I don't know. I have not paid someone to put a grip on. At that point, you're getting close to the price of your Girsan. So if you have a Girsan or a Thesis or whatever, and you spent $900 to $1,000 on it, and then you put a $700 grip on it, to spend $100 getting it installed, so $800, you've almost doubled the cost of your gun just in the grip. And have you even gained any performance yet? This grip was less expensive. This is an MJD polymer grip. I'm really liking this grip. We'll do a video just on that at some point. The same grip is on here now. That might tell you something. Now, let's move these things over to the bench, and we'll take a look at them, because I think there's a couple things that we might find as we dig into them. All right, we're at my messy bench. It's worth noting again, like, neither of these guns are completely stock. This MPA is now sporting a polymer grip, which takes a couple ounces out of it. But then I had this magwell here is an Akai. It's steel and it's big, so it adds a lot of weight to the gun. I also threw a tungsten guide rod in it just to pork this thing up and see how much meat we could get out of a plastic ripped gun. So let's throw it on the scale. We're at 3 pounds, 0.7 ounces on that. That's pretty fat. You're getting close to steel grip numbers with this heavy magwell. The Girsan's going to be lighter. I kind of like a lighter gun. That'll be part of the comparison here, I guess, is to see how that goes. But it's still got some chunk to it. 2 pounds, 10.4 ounces. So you're looking at what, like 6 ounces difference in the two guns. right now, but you could swap those mag wells and then this gun would be lighter. Let's dig into them a little bit, get the scale out of the way. So it's worth noting, before we even get them apart, that the MPA doesn't have any MIM parts in it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here or not. Oh, that's wanting to be a booger to get out, isn't it? Oh, there we go. The MPA has no MIM parts, whereas the Girsan, as it is now, like the trigger isn't MIM, but and well, I've changed the slide stop. I don't even know why I changed the slide stop. I probably just had one laying around and stuck this in there. Might have to figure out where the original slide stop is. Both of these need stupid paper clips. Do I have a paper clip? I actually don't mind the paper clip thing to get recoil assemblies out. Just sucks when you can't find a paper clip. Let's pull this out. If I can get this stupid thing in the hole. There we go. Both guns are now sporting lighter recoil springs, so, and the same hammer spring. I'm not sure what hammer spring is in the MPA. It's supposed to be a 17, but it feels heavy to me. So I'm gonna probably change that just so I know what's in it. Both guns I'm running, like the MPA definitely has an 8-pound spring in it. The Girsan right now has like a cut down spring. It feels like it's about 8. The slide stop's worth looking at. Something to note on these. So this slide stop, I bet you, is 200 on the money. I don't know if you can see that. 200 thousandths or whatever. This is probably an EGW. This is probably 200. No, that's a 198.5. Interesting. Okay, so the Girsan one, I wish I knew which slide stop came in that gun. Could have been. No, it's not that one. I don't know what happened to it. But it's worth measuring that, like, because if your gun is a little loose and you've got like a 196 slide stop, you could probably put a 200 in it, and you're fattening it up. You might tighten the gun up just a little bit. With the Girsan, something else I changed. We'll look at it here. So I noticed with the gun locked up, you could push down right here, and there was a little bit of play in the barrel at the back. So that is typically the barrel link, which I can't seem to get the barrel out because it's no, I'll break it down. So that is typically this barrel link, and all the barrel link is supposed to do is pull the gun down from, it's this way, but it's supposed to just pull the barrel down as the gun cycles, and that's pretty much all it's supposed to do. If the link is long, then you're going to be riding the link, and it's not going to be locking up on the lower lugs like it's supposed to. Right here, it's going to be locking up on the link, and eventually that'll break the link. Now, and actually I didn't stake this link pin back in because I couldn't find my staking punch, so you can see it's a little loose. So what's going to happen is eventually it'll break the link. Now the link is only like $5. It's not the end of the world. But it sucks if your gun goes down, right? I don't really want to break my link. So I put a shorter link in here. This has a number 1 link in it. And I actually had a friend of mine that's a gunsmith look at it, and he suggested a number 1 link. And that's what's in here now. And that has alleviated that problem. Now, I don't have the calipers out here with me, but it seems to me as if I might be a little, because of that, I've lowered, put it this way, the barrel is a little bit lower now. I'm exaggerating it here because the link is sitting in a different place, right? So like now these lugs are sitting on the slide stop as it's in the gun, so the barrel's sitting a little lower. And I think I have less lug engagement up here, and it's probably a little less than I want. But it'll probably hold up because it's just a 9mm. But let's take a look at this. So this is something I noticed with, well, I haven't actually looked at it with this. We'll see this. So if I push this barrel up in here, and then, yeah, see how much I can wiggle this around? So that's going to be like how the hood fits into the slide back here, right? Like there's plenty of play there. If I hold it, you won't be able to see this. I'm going to hold it up to the light. You can't really see light through the breech face. Unlock. Let's wipe this off. So you can kind of see marks in there from where the barrel hood touches the breech face, but not really. Like, it's not really taking much finish off. Like, it's barely getting there. When I show you the MPA, we'll probably see more of a difference there. In the front end too, there's a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll try to turn the volume up maybe and see if we can hear it. But there's a tiny bit of play in the front. It's not a lot. It's not bad. Now with the MPA, whoops, I just bumped the camera. When I push it up into battery, right now, let's look at how much movement we have here. Like, I don't know if you can see it. I can feel it's moving, but it's not moving anything like that, right? And the front end, like, there's nothing here. Like, that's like this barrel pushed up, and if I push it up into the slide, like, it's locked, like, without even the lower lug. Like, there's nothing down here holding the bottom in place because it's not in the gun. Like, I could tell this thing is locked up tighter. Like, mechanically, this gun should be more accurate than that gun, right? And when you put the gun together, like, you can feel, like, the MPA feels smoother, and like, just the way it sounds. Let's put it back together and maybe... But listen to how it sounds. Leave it in there, like, listen to that. And then, like, you can for sure hear and feel a difference. So, like, that's part of what you're paying for. Like, the gun is going to be a little bit looser because they're mass producing the parts faster, and they want them to all go together. This is definitely cut to tighter tolerances. You should expect this to be cut to, like, for $3,500. Like, I want the gun to be tight. At $900, it doesn't necessarily have to be as tight as long as it works. And the gun has been working. But that's the difference I'm seeing in the two guns. It's like, this gun is, like, there's a tiny bit of slide play in this. But slide to frame fit makes up almost nothing for your... Like, this one, you can hear it. Like, there's a more pronounced rattle to the slide. According to, like, the shop manuals and stuff, like 1911s, the slide to frame fit makes up like 5% of your accuracy. It's very little. When it's in here, like, when it's locked up like this, I can't really move because that's the slide I'm hearing move. There's a tiny bit of play there. There's a tiny bit of movement here, but when you'll see it when I go to the range, like, the groups between the two guns are like 12, 15 yards. Like, this one's definitely much tighter. The guns group very similarly. They shoot very similarly. But is it just as good? Like, no, like, this is definitely a better built gun. Maybe the way to word it is this gun good enough? And it probably is. Like, realistically, you're probably not out shooting this gun. You're not going to see the difference. That's my theory, at least, is that when I go shoot some stages back to back with these two guns, that my scores are going to be basically the same, and I'm not going to tell the difference. But the only way to know for sure is to test it. So I'm looking forward to getting to the range and trying both of these and seeing how that plays out. So now we'll go to the video on the range where I did a little bit of testing, and look for part 2 where I'm going to do a lot more. What's up, guys? So today I'm out on the range with the Girsan and the MPA. We've looked at them on the bench. Now I'm going to do a couple of quick comparisons on the range and see how they shoot. I think I'm going to start off with group shooting and see how that goes. All right, so here's the target I'm going to use. I'm going to shoot the MPA at the spot on the left, and I'll shoot the Girsan over here on the right. I'm just going to use Blazer for ammo. Do 5-shot groups from about 12, 13 yards, and we'll see how it goes.
Alright, so that's definitely better. My dot may be slightly off on this gun. I probably could have took my time a little more. So maybe I'll try that again. And actually I want to, let's go from there. We'll see how that goes. So that's probably better. When I go back and watch the video, I'll probably be able to tell better just which shots were which, but that group looks pretty good. And this basically stayed the same. I still threw one over here. I don't know what shot that was. All right, I'm gonna start with the Girsan. I'm not quite at 25 yards. I'm probably at like 20. I don't feel like going back there into the building to do 25. I'm just gonna shoot doubles. I've got 5 rounds in the gun right now, 5 or 6. I'm just gonna kind of shoot these and get a feel for it. And then I'll load up this mag and run it at the target. That way, as I switch guns, I'm giving it a kind of a fair shake, I would say. I'm like over returning that. We'll see what happens. So I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go, now you can. Not bad. I think I'll circle the ones that are out with a marker and then paste everything up and just, I'll at least know how many were out with this gun before I switch. All right, I can't find my stupid marker. There's about 8 shots out, so it's about half the shots are out. All right, so just like the Girsan, I'm gonna fire a few rounds, kind of get a feel for the gun again. Wish I had more. All right, let's see what happens. This is different ammo. It feels a little different. I'm not necessarily used to how it's shooting. It's a little bit softer feeling. I don't know that really should make a difference, but it's the same ammo that I just shot in the Girsan. I should clarify that. It's not the Blazer that I shot groups with a few minutes ago. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's better. Yeah, I think that kind of confirmed that. Like, I definitely shot that gun better. I've got 3 out. One of them was the first pair. I saw the dot dip down low. These other 2, I don't know that I saw them as clearly. And then it started, like the dot just started returning exactly where I wanted it to in the later pairs. So this is definitely better. Okay, so that's a really simple test. I really like running doubles to test guns, especially at distance. You can really see how the gun tracks and returns and how the recoil impulse is. Both guns did pretty good. The MPA definitely did better, but this is just a sample of like one set. I think I will do a more elaborate range video with the 2 guns later, where I will do probably do more doubles, maybe throw in some bill drills at distance, and then also work in a stage, because I think, while yes, I shoot doubles a little bit better with this gun, I think on a stage, it's probably not really going to matter that much, to where like my hit factors would be almost the same no matter which gun I have in my hand. And I think, again, I'll need to dry fire and do things to get used to the gun before I switch, so I'm not just going in and whatever gun I've been practicing with the most will be the gun that wins. Which is also telling that the gun probably doesn't matter that much. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this MPA. It's shooting pretty well. So I guess hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll try to address them in the next video.